Hello, this is Linda. I'm coming to you from Colorado, and of course, I'm back in the Power blog teaching a little bit more about what you do with your blog and the good things that you can do. As I've told you before, generally a WordPress back office has a list of things on the side, and instead they decided to create uh, an icon system where you can just go, and there's only a few places that you absolutely need to go. Of course, posts are your everyday blog posts that you're going to put in. Pages, you only do a few of those and then you're really kind of done. Those are basically static pages that create the information. Media is where any images that you might upload is going to be living. Menu is the actual top menu. Well, you can create more than one, but generally all websites, all blogs have a menu across the top in which that's the main pages you want people to be able to go to. Comment management is mainly that you can just turn it off or turn it on. Opt-in forms there's two different ones, but this one just gives you an opportunity to connect up with Aweber, get response, or anything else like that that you might have if you want your list to go there. Now myself, I have opted to make Power Blog really kind of focus in on Power Blog, on the Power Lead system, because that's where it is, right? So one of the things that I have done that kind of helps with that is I'm going to go to Appearance, which is where you can do changes to your blog to make it more interesting or more accessible or more friendly to people, or make changes that will help you to promote whatever you want. So we're going to go to Customize again like we did in the last video. I really should close more of my tabs because that slows this down. I know it does. And anyway, I have a home page which is basically a page that sells for me, and that is where everything is. So in order to see any of the changes I will be making, I'm going to click on the blog tab, and in a previous video I explained why that's a helpful thing to have. Now as you can see right here, I have little tabs here that sell for me, and the main one I have right now on the top is actually the new Power Lead System training program that starts that's just started last week. It is Franco's training, and it is and this little tab right here goes directly to that training, and they can opt in with an email and become part of that. I want to, of course, promote that, so that's why that's there. Another thing that's important is you've got all kinds of different things you can do here. One of the things I like to do is, I just did this just now, but I'm going to do it, just show you what I did. I decided to upload, to actually increase the text size of my blog. I'm going to just click on this so you can see one of the blog posts. I did that because generally people are going to see this from a smaller screen, and this is probably not a good place to see it because I've got very little text in here. But if I were to go back, let's see if I can. It doesn't let me go to a previous post. Of course, this is inside the builder, not inside the blog itself. I mean, you're seeing the changes you make, but what's important here is that even though I don't have a lot of text in here, it's good that it's visible. Now, a really good test is to go to a smaller screen. If you have a laptop or a tablet, it's a good idea to see how it looks from that point of view. So if you make your text larger, it's going to show up better in a smaller screen, and that's really important. Of course, in this case, I mainly am giving them video content, and I usually try to create a good graphic to kind of bring them into the content. Another thing I did just now is I widened my widget area. This is where your little ads show up, and you can do that by going to the layout section, and you actually can widen it right here. And I actually widened mine to 30. I don't know why it says 30 instead of 300, but this is actually the 300 pixels, this area right here, now that I've widened this. I noticed it was really narrow, hard to see, and you don't need to make your content area really large because there's nothing on this side. You've got to remember that when I close this out. If you look at a blog post, like here is one of my blog posts I just did, and as you can see, it's not, there's quite a large area for my content. I don't have anything on this side. This is a gutter, which unless they introduce a hanging share button over here, there's generally not going to be a whole lot of stuff going on here. There's not any widgets that will be on this side, so it's just a really wide gutter in between, which is okay. When you're seeing this in a smaller screen, this is probably good that it's that narrow, that you got some space around it. You're not looking to make your blog post or your blog to be very crowded, because you got to remember that people really are going to see this in smaller, generally not the big screen that I'm using right now. Most of them are going to see it in the largest one is the 17-inch in a laptop, which is the diagonal measurement, so realize that that's actually not as wide as 17 inches. And so if you think about it that way, that's not a large amount of space. The larger tablets are 10.5 inches, and that again is a diagonal measurement, not the width of the actual screen. So if you're looking at this from a much smaller screen, it'll still look really good on that screen. And that is what you want to go for, is you want this to show up really nice on a small screen as well as on a large screen. So if I come back over here to where it's showing, oh, that's the wrong place, where it's showing my measurements, I purposely widened this one out. It was very narrow. I also widened this. You can do that from some of the layout. It's not in general settings, it's in heading and navigation. And if you go to the header format, you can see that you can enable it to be either vertical, or you can leave it where it is, which default is across the top. Centered inline logo, slide in, full screen. So we're going to leave it where it is. You do have a secondary menu item. I haven't put anything there. And then you have footer items. And this just allows you to widen up. I actually did not make any changes to this because I'm not using a secondary menu bar. I imagine that is this area if I wanted to use it. So I didn't even update that one. And then here is the settings for the navigation. This is the image for my logo, and it allows you to change the size. As you can see, I changed this area here to 18. You can make it larger if you want to. You can change the color. As you see, I've made it this kind of faded red, kind of a melon color, to go along with the color scheme that I like. You can change it to anything. I know that Franco likes blue. If this was his, he would probably change this up here into a blue color. You can do that by simply clicking on this, and you can choose any color you want. Like if you did that, it would start changing some of the things up there. I'm not going to actually change that. I'm going to leave it. You would have to hit the save button to do that, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to come back to this color up here, and then that's where we are. I'm going to say okay to that because I don't actually want to make any changes. But the change would have been blue up here, and you can also change your text color here. There's a lot of things you can do that make it kind of attractive. You do not need to go crazy though with making color changes and font sizes. I mean, you could spend hours and hours doing that kind of stuff and it wouldn't be of any benefit. Just make it readable, and also when you put your content in, make sure that there's space between. Don't put great big huge blocks of text in. Look at all of the space I like to put in. This is actually a very brief small post. It's not a long post. People like little snippets that take only a few minutes to read or to listen to. They don't like long posts. So that's why I do what I do, and I hope that's helpful to you. Make sure and comment under this video. Let me know what you think. Ask any questions if you have something that you want to know more about.